I must thank you for saving our Tanya. You have brought joy again into our lives. We are in your debt.
Pay the innkeeper for your room and board.
Thank you for your payment.
You eat your plain but nourishing breakfast. It has more than a bit of garlic added for spice.
I don't know how we can ever thank you enough. It's such a joy to have my little Tanya home again.
Oh, she is her joyful self again. The sound of a child's voice is the sweetest of music. We will do our best to show our love and never, never let her be afraid of the dark again. I have always found it difficult to express emotion. Mordavian men are not supposed to show such things. Yet I cried freely when you brought Tanya back to us. I cannot remember ever being so happy. I do not know what to make of Tanya's stories about vampires. It is hard to imagine my lovely daughter as an undead. Gladly, though, I would go to the castle and drive a stake through the heart of the one who stole our daughter from us.
My Tanya is her cheerful, loving self again. I could never thank you enough for the kindness you have shown us all. I knew Tanya was alive somewhere. I never lost hope that she would return.
Bella, you heard his story. Tanya was dead, an undead, a Nosferatu.
She is fine right now, isn't she? As long as she's alive and well, what does it matter? I don't understand with all this talk about vampires and Tanya. She has returned healthy and happy, and this is what's important. Of course, I will never forgive the woman who stole my baby from me. Still, I think I can understand her a little bit. I, too, have always wanted a child such as Tanya. I am only overjoyed to have my Tanya back.
You tell again how Toby sacrificed himself for Tanya.
He may have looked like a monster, but he obviously had a heart and mind of great kindness.
Remind the innkeeper that the vampires are still in the castle, and there may be other attempts at getting Tanya.
We understand, and we will make certain no vampire can come near her again.
I didn't like him. He didn't like me. He didn't like Katrina either. They were always having fights, but he had to do what she told him to do, and that made him very mad. I liked Trina. She was kind to me and gave me lots of nice things. She even taught me to read and write, but I'll never go back to her. I want to stay with my mommy and daddy. Toby was my best friend in all the world. And I miss him. I wish he could come and live with us here. I'm happy to be home again. Everyone in town has come to see me and talk to me, and it's fun to be important. I like it.
You hear a chorus of responses, some coming from the kitchen. Goodbye, and thank you.
You have brought real joy to Mordavia by bringing Tanya back.
When she was stolen, it was as if all the laughter here had been taken as well. You gave us back our happiness. You do not need to go looking for trouble. It will always find you. Please take care. Good to see you.
This is a little too easy now. You need to add more weight. You pick up 2 of the metal weights and put 1 in each of the baskets. Your legs are too stiff and sore to use this right now.
You do not need to go looking for trouble. It will always find you. Please take care.
The talk is that you're a real hero. People say you returned little Tanya to her parents. My. Boris came back to visit me. We had a lot to talk about. He says he'll come back again after work. It was nice to see him. Seemed like old times. What would you like to know about? I've heard you really had a great adventure bringing Tanya back from that awful castle. Did you really have to fight hundreds of horrible monsters without even a sword? That's wonderful! Ah, vampires is it? There's talk that those strangers up in Castle Borgolf are never seen by day and can't abide the smell of good old garlic. If you are going to do any wandering outside town, make certain you have some garlic with you, just in case. You take care. Don't want to see your funeral. You hate that walk to the cemetery. As my husband used to say, come back again, sunshine or rain.
Na 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 na. 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 Oops! Hi there! 9 and 8 make 17. Watch out for the Fairy Queen.
cloaked by magic, pale of cheek. What is it that the fairies seek? I'm almost out of riddles. I'll ask you nothing more, but come back in a while just to see what I've in store.
In my dreams last night, I heard Irana's staff speak. It said the sacrifice had been made, the dead had risen, and the living had died. When I awoke, I feared it was you who made the sacrifice. I sent Davy to discover the truth. He climbed over the wall and started sniffing around where the staff had been. He became scared when he caught your scent there, but then he scented you going with the child to the inn. It is not our way to be concerned about outsiders. You have certainly become more than an outsider to us.
It is good to see you again.
You tell about Tanya, Toby, and the staff.
So the child has been restored to life through the sacrifice of Toby, and the staff of Irana is in your possession. Oh, with this you have undoubtedly angered someone very powerful. I would be very careful traveling at night if I were you.
There were many Necrotars out hunting last night. It was difficult to avoid them. Oh, they are tough and hard to outrun. I was injured in the leg the other night when a Necrotar tried to steal the rabbit I had caught. Fortunately, the pack was not far away. They dragged it off me, and I was able to tear out its throat. Ugh, those things are nasty in a fight. I would not care to face one alone.
Listen, it is said that the only certain way to kill a vampire is to drive a wooden stake through its heart. This can only be done while the creature is helpless during the day. The Nosferatu have great powers of enchantment, and those foolish enough to face a vampire by night usually wind up feeding its lust for blood. That is all I know of the vision. I do sense that you have the staff now. Oh, it is very powerful and has a mind of its own, as I am sure you will find. But I have had a great deal of difficulty sleeping. My dreams disturb me very much. Foreknowledge is as much a curse as a gift. Do not speak of it! Do not think of it, for it will drive you mad!
You say goodbye.
May your luck hold true. Be wary, for your enemies may soon act against you.
Gotcha!
Leashy, Leashy, riddle's done. Thank you much for all the fun.
Your magical lasso floats towards the tree and plucks a single ripe fruit from its branches. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better.
Hello again. You are a most brave man to wander so freely in the Moldavian woods. Farewell. Goodbye, and good travels.
After some rest, you feel better. 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 You have a very bad feeling. The air is full of hostile vibrations.
The human has returned with the staff. We shall finally gain what we have sought for so long. Staff of Arana, hear my command. I, Tatiana, queen of the fairy folk, summon thee and claim thee for my own. Staff, hear my command. Thou shalt hear and obey my words. I am thy master now.
You feel an incredible rush of magical energy filling you. It tickles. You hear a voice in your head.
He is the hand of destiny, and shall restore the spirit of Erana.
So, the human has claimed the staff of Arana? Then by his death, the staff shall be mine. Gods, destroy that human creature!
You cast the reversal spell. You cast the resistance to elemental forces spell.
The human has a spell which reverses spells. Use your area attacks!
Hand of destiny, you are now triumphant. She who would use me for her own glory is defeated. You shall now have the spell of resistance.
You now have a paper which says, Ritual of the Dark One, Heart of Darkness. You put it away. You feel a surge of power as the magical energy from the fruit releases itself into your system. Your resistance spell is expired. That feels good. Just what you needed to relieve some of the aches and pains of everyday adventuring. After some rest, you feel better. You cast the Resistance to Elemental Forces spell. You cast the Protection spell. It gives you a warm, safe feeling. You cast the Aura spell. A gentle glow suffuses your body. Your reversal spell is wearing thin. You feel a chill go through you as you enter this part of the forest, as if a cold wind suddenly sprang up from nowhere. reversal spell has worn off. The wraith vanishes into nothingness, and the air slowly begins to regain some warmth. The barrow contains treasure that the wraith collected while it was alive, or perhaps more recently from treasure seekers less fortunate than you. You find a hoard of 150 gold crowns. That should improve your cash flow. Your resistance spell is expired. Your protection spell has worn off. Your aura has evaporated. You hear movement on the other side of the door. After a few minutes, you hear someone removing the bar and unlocking the bolts on the other side of the door.
So Dmitri says the gypsy didn't really kill Igor after all. Then there's that one about the Easter Bunny.
Wait, you didn't hear? That foolish gravedigger fell into a grave, and he was trapped by his own gravestone. He's dumber than a styrofoam cup.
Right. It's just lucky for Igor the stranger happened to wander by before he starved to death.
You are all fortunate that the stranger rescued Igor. You would have burned an innocent man. Well, I still think the gypsy's a werewolf. Say, did you hear that the gravedigger returned to town unharmed?
Did you know that the gypsy has been released?
Were you aware of the fact that rumor has it that you saved both Igor and the gypsy?
So you found Igor in the grave? Whew! Lucky for old Ig you came along.
Otherwise, poor little Iggy would be dead.
Well, at least he had a decent burial.
Well, Gypsy returned to his people, I suppose.
Yeah, that gypsy camp is somewhere to the east of town, by the shopping mall.
I still think the punk was a werewolf.
Did you ever see him turn into a wolf?
Well, no.
Did he have hairy hands or pointy ears like Leonard Nimoy?
Well, no.
You see, it's all your fault, blathering on about those stupid, foolish folk tales. Why, we could have harmed an innocent man.
Yeah, I knew all along there's no such thing as werewolves.
Well, Gravedigger returned to town safely, and he can get back to his job overcharging us for those Fakakta gravestones.
Yeah, he's even got full medical and dental.
After all, the gravedigger was at work all the time, so to speak.
Well, things ought to settle back to abnormal now. What with our little buddy Igor returning and all.
Hep, we can go back to being open and friendly.
And as always, suspicious of strangers.
You get a fine meal of roast duckling a la garlic.
It's was very kind of you to aid Igor. It has been a long time since we have had someone as heroic as you in Mordavia, yeah? Forgive us if we have seemed so unkind to you. It is just that we have lived so long in fear. I was very worried about the gypsy. It was just like those 3 old yentas to accuse the wrong man. Oy, I'm so glad the gypsy is free. I don't know if gypsies are werewolves, and I don't really care. As long as they don't harm anyone, they have as much right to live in Mordavia as we do.
Bella!
Don't you believe that, Yuri?
Maybe.
Well, when you see your gypsy friends again, you may tell him that Yuri and Bella will welcome him in town.
Now, I never said that.
Oh, but you meant it, didn't you? You are a man of your word, after all. Oh, that is right. We hadn't been properly introduced. Yuri, will you introduce us?
This is silly. You've met before.
Still, it would be nice to be properly introduced. Please, Yuri?
This is Bella Makarov, my wife and keeper of the kitchen.
You introduce yourself in return.
I am very honored to meet you. My husband Yuri doesn't like for me to talk to strangers. He thinks they may be dangerous. But clearly, you are not dangerous. You are a hero. We need a hero here.
Bella?
Oh, Yuri, I'm just saying how welcome he is in Mordavia. I always leave a supper out for him behind the inn. He looks strange and a little frightening, but I think he is really a good person. He's always so polite to me. I'm not sure what he means by graveyard humor, though. At least he seems to enjoy himself.
The gypsy has returned to his people, I guess. It is a good thing for him that you were in town. Now that Igor is back here with us, perhaps someday I will welcome him into the inn. He was always so strange, and no one had anything to do with him. I never imagined I would miss him before. It is a great relief to me that the gypsy has been released. I had not been looking forward to watching him burn at the stake. No man should die so hard.
Everyone's too busy drinking to notice you. You unlock the door to your room and go in. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. You're getting tired. You unlock the door to your room and go in. You awaken as the sun begins to rise.